Hey, what's up? It's Chris Young. Have you ever heard the term four-season RV? Have you? Well, you'd actually be wise to question exactly what that means. After all, seasons vary wildly depending on what part of the country that you're camping in. Albuquerque is going to be different than Buffalo. And if you've been shopping for an RV and you want to know exactly what this thing is capable of, in order to do that, you'll have to understand how the manufacturers describe their four-season designs and how those claims actually hold up in real-world use. After thinking about it, since I can't be there in person with you to walk through the RV that you're looking at, I thought, you know what, probably the next best thing is to break down how different components are going to help the RV handle all kinds of conditions, from the insulation and heating to design and testing. So, the big question now, what the heck does four-season really mean? Now, RV makers will throw around terms like four-season capable, extended camping season, and will even reference things like insulation values, wall construction thickness, 12-volt tank heating pads. I mean, you name it, they got it. A slew of other construction things they're gonna throw in. But do something for me. Every time you hear that term, four-season, pump the brakes. As people who love to camp, we like the idea of owning equipment that can handle tough conditions. The trouble comes with RVs that overpromise and underdeliver. That's why you've got to understand first that four-season capable should likely always have a caveat. But while we want to clear up some misconceptions about four-season camping, there are undoubtedly construction upgrades that do make some campers better equipped to handle that extreme weather than some of the others. So Chris, what are these upgrades and what do they actually do? You know what? I'm glad you asked. We're actually going to start arguably with the most important piece, insulation. Because if your RV can't reduce heat transfer through the walls, the floors, the roof, then no heating or cooling system is going to be powerful enough to keep your RV livable. So let's keep that in mind and let's take a look at a few different samples of insulation types. There are two major types of RV insulation with a third that's, quite a bit less common. First up is going to be block foam. Now, this is typically found in laminated campers. It's lightweight, it's rigid, and it actually helps create a very solid bonded wall structure. As you can kind of see here, this is a sample from an RV cutout. This is pretty solid, and this is moisture resistant, but also does a really good job with stopping some of that heat transfer. Next up is going to be what we call batten insulation or bat insulation. This is the same fiberglass material that you see in your homes. It's often used on the stick and tin or aluminum sided campers with frame walls, and probably wouldn't handle it like I'm handling it now. Speaking of, let me go wash my hands. I'll be right back. And finally, we have EcoBat insulation. It's a flexible fiberglass blend made with plant-based binders instead of harsh chemicals. It's less itchy, has no strong odor, and serves as an eco-friendly alternative to the traditional fiberglass bat insulation. You'll often see it in a lot of higher-end campers, and especially when you're talking about aluminum rivet RVs like Airstream. They're big on the EcoBat. Now, each of them have their pros and their cons. Laminated walls with block foam are lightweight and rigid, while bat insulation sometimes can provide better sound dampening and easier repairability. And there isn't one insulation type that's head and shoulders better than the others. Many climate protection packages use multiple types, such as block foam insulated sidewalls with things like fiberglass insulation, maybe in the front cap, maybe in the back, etc. From there, you'll often hear manufacturers refer to R values, which describe the material's resistant to heat flow. The higher the R value, the better the insulation. If you're not really familiar with R value, it refers to the rating system to rank the insulating properties of a material or collection of materials, because you got to think about the RV as a whole. The higher the R value, the better resistance to temperature conduction, aka better insulation. But once again, take those numbers with a grain of salt. R values can vary depending on how and where they're measured. Roof, floor, walls, and the whole entire total system performance depends on how well these materials work together, not just one component. Now, some RV manufacturers will go the extra mile by insulating areas that are easy to overlook, like front and rear caps, slide rooms, or pass-through storage compartments. These spots are notorious for temperature loss. When you think about where's the heat or the cool going to go, it's going to go the path of least resistance. At the end of the day, insulation really is what separates a true four-season RV from ones that just claim to be. No heating or cooling system is going to be able to keep up if heat's constantly slipping through the walls, the floor, or the ceiling. If that insulation isn't consistent, or if big enough areas are left uninsulated, you're definitely going to feel it. But when the insulation's solid, sealed, and even covers spots like the underbelly and front cap, the whole RV is going to hold temperature so much better. Speaking of that underbelly, let's take a look at that. Now, when you're talking about maintaining the temperature control inside your RV, this is another great place to start. Think the bottom and think the top. If your RV has an enclosed underbelly underneath it, it's going to do a few things for you. Number one, it's going to help regulate the temperature from underneath. So no going in and hopefully no coming out. If you do have systems like the Accessibelly like we have on this one, it's rigid panels that are bolted together to keep that underbelly protected. Now, some manufacturers will even pump forced air heat where they'll have ducts under here that will keep this underbelly a little bit more regulated. The ones that do the forced air heat as well as the 12 volt or the heating pads on your tanks, those are going to be the ones that offer some of the best protection because those 12 volt pads are going to keep those tanks from freezing and busting on you while driving through cold climates. But more importantly, when it gets hot enough, they're going to cut off automatically. So you're also not draining more power from your RV, saving it from hopefully, I don't know, giving you more extra time to run that AC. Let's talk heated and enclosed underbelly, which can be an overused phrase in that four-season conversation. Sometimes enclosed underbelly simply means it's a plastic cover over the bottom of the RV. Even when the ducts or pads are present, heat rarely distributes evenly, and water lines or dump valves can still freeze. Systems that rely on furnace heat to pump that air under there only work as long as the propane lasts, which can be a problem in extended cold weather. Like enclosed underbellies, there are other add-on construction features that help RVs stay heated or cool, including windows. They actually work a lot like the ones inside of a house. You got 2 layers of glass separated by a small air gap that helps reduce condensation and slow down heat transfer. You'll find that most manufacturers will put these in things like luxury fifth wheels, motorhomes, where overall insulation is a priority. Then they'll even do things like reflective barriers, materials like foil or radiant insulation that act almost like a mirror for heat. You might be able to see it in this shade. In hot climates, that's going to help deflect the sun rays and keep the interior temperature down. While in cold weather, that's actually going to help bounce that heat back into the RV, helping the furnace work a little bit more effectively. No, I'm not trying to blind you, nor am I in a survival situation. Some RV manufacturers will use things like this astrofoil or radiant barrier in places like the front cap as well as the rear wall. That inside and behind either the fiberglass or whatever material they use, this is going to help not only keep the temperature more regulated on the inside, but also reflect the heat from the outside. So the barriers are also important when you're talking about four season. You see how this is a vent cushion for your vents, in the roof of your RV. Has the radiant barrier there. Put that in, that's going to do the same thing. Reflect the heat out, but push the heat in when you need it. So those barriers definitely help. Now, these are both great features, but they aren't cure-alls. Dual pane windows won't match the thermal seal of a well-insulated wall, and reflective materials only help when there's an air gap and proper installation. In cheaper builds, they're sometimes added as thin layers that offer little real benefit to you. But these features help stabilize the interior temps. They just can't overcome poor insulation or weak seals elsewhere. Now, where else are those weak seals extremely common? You guessed it, in the slides. So let's talk about your slides. They are great and add tremendously valuable living space, but they're also one of the biggest thermal weak points in any RV. Each slide creates multiple seams. You're talking about the top, the sides, the bottom. They are susceptible to heat transfers. Now, some manufacturers build some sealed and insulated slide outs designed to perform more like the main body of the RV. And if you're looking for RV designed for colder temperatures, you want to look for this. And you'll be able to tell by the way the slide is. The seals that they have on the top, the seals that they have on the bottom. Just ask if they have those barriers and are they insulated all the way around. When this is done right, the floors and walls incorporate the same insulation as the rest of the camper, and those seals close tightly when the slide is pulled in, blocking drafts, reducing heat loss, and reducing a chance for water permeation getting into the RV. What's up next? Well, it's about time we got the heating and cooling right. And that evaluation should also account for the HVAC, the heating, ventilation, and cooling capabilities. So instead of relying on a single heating vent or a wall-mounted AC unit, ducted AC and ducted heating units circulate the air much evenly through the ducts that are built into the floor, the cabinets, the ceilings, compartments, and of course the underbelly as well. Ducted systems generally provide more even airflow, keeping those temperatures more consistent from front to back and helping your furnace or your AC run more efficiently, which is a huge part in this. So, which manufacturers make claims about four-season camping and what goes into their systems? Let's take a quick break and give you some manufacturer examples. Here are a few of the most common examples with some links to more info in the description below where available, so be sure to do your research and click on those. First up, Jayco's Climate Shield. Jayco's four-season system focuses on keeping the RV livable in freezing and hot conditions alike. It includes an enclosed, heated underbelly, double-layer insulation in the roof and floor, and testing down to 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Next up is Keystone and the Climate Guard. Keystone's Climate Guard is engineered to maintain interior comfort across a wide temperature range. It typically includes radiant barriers in the roof and front cap, insulated slide floors, can't tell you how important that is, and 12-volt tank heating pads. Forest River has the Extreme Weather Package, which is found on select models across Forest River's different divisions. This package generally adds additional insulation, a heated and enclosed underbelly, love the accessibility, and radiant barriers in the roof or under the floor. Some versions include tank heaters or thermofoil in the front cap to help reduce heat loss. Grand Design has Arctic insulation, and Grand Design's Arctic insulation package emphasizes cold weather camping with double insulated floors, heated underbellies, and ducted heat into storage areas and tanks, often tested in a controlled environment down to sub-freezing temps. All these features, they sound great on paper. But, Chris, how do you actually know an RV can handle those conditions? Well, that's where testing's going to come in. And a few manufacturers like Jayco and Keystone, they actually take things a step further. They test their RVs inside thermal chambers, massive climate control rooms that can simulate temperatures from below 0 to over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, these controlled tests, they'll help verify how the insulation, ducting, and heating systems perform under those extreme conditions. Some brands will even publish their test results showing how long their units can maintain the interior comfort when temperature outside is freezing or blazing hot. And I would highly suggest that if you're doing the research and you're at this point already, go take a look at those tests. Now, obviously, I don't have a climate control facility. I am in a Camping World location, aka a campsite. Now, this is to me gonna be not state of the art, but hopefully state of how you're gonna camp. We do have a few things though. I got my trusty meat thermometer, which does a really good job of telling me what the temperature is just regular outside. Plus, I do have my little temperature gauge. And we're gonna use the heating systems inside of RVs. And here's how I'm gonna conduct this test. Scientist Chris with no lab coat and no training here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take one fiberglass unit and one aluminum unit. We're gonna test heat on both. We're gonna run the heaters for 20 minutes, let you know what the temperature is before we start, let you know what the temperature is 20 minutes in, then I'm gonna wait 20 minutes with nothing running and everything closed up to see how much heat loss we have. Now, my first unit, we are in a Coleman RV. This is a standard aluminum sided RV with batt insulation as well as wood construction. And right now it looks like we are roughly 74 degrees on the inside according to my little temperature gauge, which by the way, love these things. I use them to cook, I use them for everything. I even check my temperature on my head sometimes. Oh, I have a fever. Anyway, we're gonna run the heater for 20 minutes and see what the temperature is when we come back in. Now, I'm inside a fiberglass unit with foam core insulation and an aluminum structure. Now I'm gonna cut the heat on for this one, and my temperature gauge here is saying 72 degrees, and so is my little thermopin saying 72. So I'm gonna say we have a pretty good consensus. But 20 minutes on this, let the heater run for 20, come back and check it, then let it sit for 20 and check it again. So let's go. Okay, so after 20 minutes, we are a little bit more than 85 degrees inside of the Coleman, which once again is aluminum sided with batt insulation, and you're looking at wood construction. And I just kind of want to check what the temperatures are of the windows on the inside. So 81 degrees, because this is where we're going to lose some air, is where the windows are. And then what am I at my vent? Roughly 81 there too. So after 20 minutes, we made it up to over 85 degrees. Now with the heat off, let's let it sit closed for 20 minutes and let's see what type of heat loss we have after that time period. So time to set another timer. But what do you say while this is running? Let's go check out the fiberglass and see how that one's doing. Check it. All right, so now we're going into the fiberglass unit that has the foam core insulation and aluminum structure. And after 20 minutes, this says we're only at 78. Thermopin is reading about the same. Okay, so here we are 20 minutes after we cut the heat off. This is the Coleman with the aluminum sided, the batt insulation, the timber core construction. Let's go inside and see. It definitely does not feel as warm as it was when we came in to cut the heat off, but we're still at roughly 80 degrees after 20 minutes. Our HVAC system says we're currently at 79. My thermopin says we're about the same. Now, how are we doing in the living area? So living area, we're just a little bit down. Okay, the slide did a pretty good job of holding temp, roughly 77 degrees back here in the bunk room with windows at 75. So not too shabby. Let's compile all those together and give you a concise rundown. Now, for the fiberglass unit, when we walked into the unit to test it, it was 72 degrees to start. After running the heat for 20 minutes, it got up to 78 degrees. So we decided to then cut the heat off, let it sit for 20 minutes, and it went up 1 degree to 79 degrees. Now, for the aluminum sided unit that has the batten insulation, it was 75 degrees before we cut the heat on, 86 degrees after running it for 20 minutes, and 80 degrees after we let it sit for 20 minutes with no heat running. What does that tell you? Well, take it with a grain of salt. Number one, we didn't do it in any type of scientific conditions. To me, what I pick up from that is that the fiberglass unit that has the foam insulation did a better job of maintaining the heat that we had in it. But the batten unit got warmer. Now look, obviously I'm having a little fun here, but the implications are real. Insulation, sealing, and construction quality are what separate marketing claims from real four-season performance. The point is to help you understand how these systems work and why one RV might perform a little bit better than another one when the weather turns extreme. Again, an important takeaway is that no RV is 100% capable of handling anything Mother Nature can throw at it, from Key West to Fairbanks, Alaska. Many mid-tier or luxury RVs offer considerably better four-season capabilities than some entry-level models. Still, their year-round usefulness will ultimately depend on where you camp and how well you add climate protection to the factory construction. So if you're ready to explore models that are built for true all-weather adventures, or you want to learn more about how you can protect your RV systems from extreme temperatures, use the links in the description down below. And of course, visit your local Camping World or shop online anytime at rv.campingworld.com. And please leave me some comments down below and let me know, what did you think? Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully I showed you some good examples. I just really want to help you find the RV that's right for you. I wish I could be there to walk through them with you, but unfortunately I can't. I'm Chris Young from Camping World. Hope you enjoyed the buying guide of what makes an RV for season. I'll see you soon.